Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as we all know, today's topic is blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse. So we'll be taking an introductory aspect of it, and we'll be inviting a mentor to mentor us on that topic, and also we'll call on the group to make presentation, and afterwards we take questions and answers. So, um, our mentor for today is Barrister Buki Ogunsaki. I welcome her to this meeting. She's not with us, but I think she will be with us very soon. So quickly, I'll be taking some announcements from JIIPCC to our mentors and mentees. Kindly hold on as I share my screen. Okay, please, I'm trying to share my screen, please. Just give me a minute. As you can see, it's loading. So while it's loading, I'll be making the announcement and I'll just share our screen afterwards. So the first announcement for today is registration for JIIPCC program is still currently ongoing for this quarter. So if you have friends and colleagues that are interested in any of the areas, we have energy industry, the fintech, the AI, the IP, the blockchain, NFTs and Metaverse, like this class we are having today. We have the patent drafting, and we have health tech and law mentorship and internship program. So kindly share the link on your WhatsApp status, on your Facebook status, on all your social media pages. So we can make it known to all our friends that we are having the program. And quickly, I'll be telling us about the program. JIIPCC Mentorship and Internship Program is a quarterly program for students and young professionals across Africa. Mentees are afforded the opportunity to access valuable advice, training, network, mentorship, internship, discussion forums, industry updates, and resource materials from experienced mentors. The program seeks to encourage continuous training, development, and evolution in Nigeria, Africa, and around the world. So you can search for JIIPCC on all our social media platforms, hashtag JIIPCC You can also watch our YouTubes on Facebook and YouTube. You can also watch our videos on Facebook and YouTube by searching for JIIPCC. So some of the objectives of the program is to provide easy access, guidance, training, and resource materials for students and young professionals in Africa, to facilitate dialogue network among experienced and less experienced practitioners and stakeholders, to transform mentees into mentors and leaders for the next generation, and to facilitate further mentorship, internship, scholarship, and job placements for the mentees. So that is what JIIPCC Mentorship and Internship Program is all about. And finally, I'll be taking another announcement. JIIPCC is having like a master class program, which is called the Compliance Program of JIIPCC Mentorship and Internship Program, which we currently, the courses that we offer are fintech, intellectual property, data, and energy. So if you are interested, you can also sign up if you have colleagues or friends that are also interested, please kindly share the flyers. So that's the announcements for today. I'll be moving on to sharing our mentors profile for today. Trying to load our mentor page. I'll just be reading it. Our mentor for today is Barrister Buki Ogunsaki. Barrister Buki Ogunsaki is the principal and head Satoshi Tinker at BBO Solicitors. She is an emerging tech lawyer, primarily working with clients in emerging technology areas such as NFTs, Sorry, can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can. I can hear you.
Okay, I think my network went off on the other phone, so I don't know where I stopped. I've just been talking. My God. Can somebody just let me know where I stopped?
You stop at the introduction.
Can you all hear me?
The mentor. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello? Okay, thank you very much. Somebody said I was introducing our mentor. So did you hear the mentor introduction? Did I finish before my network went off, or I went halfway? Somebody please indicate.
We just heard the name, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be reading her profile quickly so that we can hear from her. Barrister Buki Ogunsaki is her name. And okay. Barrister Buki Ogunsaki is the principal and head Toshi as in bracket thinker at BBO Solicitors. She is an emerging tech lawyer, primarily working with clients in emerging tech areas such as NFTs, Metaverse, crypto, blockchain, AI, as well as crypto security, cyber security, and data privacy. Buki is highly sought after by her clients due to her 17 plus years additional experience in strategy and project management. Buki is also currently a consultant with Interstellar Inc. and the Lagos Business School, and volunteers as Director of Strategy at E4E. She is a Smart Contract Research Fellow and a Kleros Decentralized Justice Fellow. She is also a certified NFT expert from the Blockchain Council, a certified International Privacy Professional CIPPE, a member of the Nigerian Bar Association and the International Association of Privacy Professionals. Thank you very much for joining us today, Ms. Barrister Buki Ogunsaki. So we'll be hearing from Barrister right away. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. If you can't hear me, then I need to pick out this earphones. Can you all hear me? If that doesn't know. Hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can hear you.
It's great to be here. I needed to disconnect the earphone. I guess it's not working. Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you, Juliana, and your entire team. I'm excited to be here, excited to also be taking a topic that I am so passionate about. And thank you also for the introduction, Hussein. I hope I can call you Hussein. All right, thank you so much. So I guess we'll just go right into the presentation. So I'm going to start sharing my slide. 1 second, please. Am I allowed as host to share? Am I a host? Let me just cross-check. Can you?
Yes, I'll do that, ma'am.
Okay, just be sure.
Please, you can try it now.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
While she's trying to share the screen, I quickly want to make an announcement. The Zoom meeting, the Zoom call we are in right now will be ending in the next 40 minutes. So while the meeting ends, you can quickly click on the link and join the meeting again. I think it's because we've not paid for the package, and we've been trying to do that since yesterday. So sorry for the inconvenience that may cause. Thank you very much. Are you able to share your screen?
So can you see my screen?
No.
Okay. Let me try one more time. Well, I don't think it's allowing me to share. So let me just send it to you, Hussein. So just type in your email in the chat box.
Okay, my email.
So I can send it. So you just don't waste time.
Okay.
Okay, so I've sent it to you, so you can just open it from your end.
Okay. I don't think I've received it. I'm refreshing my email. Please.
All right.
Okay, I've seen it.
Okay, awesome. So I guess I can start. So thank you again for having me here today. It's awesome. Thank you for the introduction as well. Primarily, I practice in 3 areas of law: emerging tech, data privacy, and cybersecurity. Those are my 3 babies. Obviously, because it's law, it tends to flow into other aspects like IP, corporate law, and basically any side of law. But I just major in those 3, and then the rest just I accept it as what comes with the territory. So today we're going to be looking at an introduction into blockchain, NFTs, and the metaverse, which is a lot. But since it's just an intro, I'm sure I might not be able to go through all the slides. I asked for how much time I have. How much time do I have?
Okay, I have 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You are still going to listen to
Their own presentation.
our mentor's presentation and also make comments on it afterwards and also answer the questions. So
Okay. All right. So let me just breeze through this as fast as I can. So in order to look at blockchain, I wanted to take us through the history of blockchain for those that are not familiar with the history. So the first thing is we have the influence of BitGold by Nick Szabo on blockchain technology. We know that blockchain technology was introduced through the white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, which was introducing blockchain, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And this was in 2008. But prior to that, BitGold had been introduced by Nick Szabo, but there was a problem with BitGold. It was supposed to be a form of currency, but there was a double spend problem. And the double spend problem is explained in a simple way. If I have $100 and I need to buy something that is $50 and I do the transaction online, I also have $50 left in my wallet or in my account. But the double spend problem was that people could actually spend that $50 twice without recourse to anything, because there was nobody to cross-check to make sure that that $50 was actually taken out of my account. So it would be my word against them that I still have $100 instead of $50 because I spent $50 somewhere else. So that was the problem that was existing at the time that Nick Szabo introduced BitGold. But Satoshi was able to cure this problem with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin became the new virtual digital currency. The first purchase was in 2010, which was 2 Papa John's pizzas. A developer bought the 2 pizzas from a guy called Studevant, who was working as a student at the time. And that was the first exchange of currency. And the 2 pizzas at that time cost 10,000 Bitcoins. But obviously, we know that Bitcoin at that time wasn't worth that much. So Bitcoin passed the threshold in 2011. And in 2021, as we can see, it grew to 57,000. And at a point in November of 2021, it was up to 60,000 US dollars just for 1 Bitcoin. Now we can see that's almost 30 million naira or above that. So we can see that it quickly became a phenomenon. So what exactly is the network? The network is that we were used to centralized systems previously. And then we now grew to distributed centralized systems. But what Bitcoin and blockchain technology brought about was the introduction of decentralized distributed technology, meaning anyone, anywhere in the world could have access to this system. There was no central authority, and people could begin to transact peer-to-peer without the need for third parties to verify, well, not verify, to give instructions on the transaction, because we still have miners at the end of the day. So blockchain technology is a type of distributed ledger technology. And distributed ledger just means that, just like the same way you have an Excel spreadsheet, all transactions are recorded in a ledger format, like an Excel spreadsheet. And once a ledger has the required transaction within the time frame, all the transactions are collapsed together and hashed before a new ledger is opened. So at the beginning of the new ledger, we have the hash, that's the combination of all of the transactions as the very first transaction in the next ledger. That's why it's called a blockchain, because the transactions are recorded in blocks, which are the ledgers, and each one is connected to the next one because the hash of one block is the first transaction or first entry on the next ledger or the next block. So that's why it's called a distributed ledger. And it's distributed because anybody, anywhere at any time can have access to this ledger. So I in Nigeria can have access to check what is happening on the ledger. Somebody else in Cyprus, another person in Malta, all at the same time can have access to this same ledger. So Bitcoin became digital first cryptocurrency. It's used as a form of payment on the blockchain. It's decentralized, it's pseudonymous because you only see the address. You don't necessarily know who is behind the address until you dig further. And then it is controlled by the user, meaning I don't need a central party to operate my accounts for me or tell me how to operate my accounts. So the characteristics of crypto assets are that they're digital, They make use of cryptography. Cryptography is the use of two keys. This is just an intro class. So if I use some terms that you are not used to, you still talk about it in other sessions as well. So you can just note it down for the meantime. And I'm sure there's some of you that have read this already and are familiar with the terms. So cryptography is the use of two keys, a private key and a public key. And it also is, it could be asymmetric in that if you go to a hotel and you use your key card to enter the room, it's the same card that you use to open, that you use to close. So the same card they give you at the reception, you use it to open, use it to close, if need be, when you are leaving. But when it's asymmetrical keys, one key is used to open and another key is used to close. So two different keys, which is why we have a private key and a public key. So the public key is the address where everybody knows as your wallet. And then the private key is what you have to protect anybody else from having access to your wallet or your account. So again, no third party. The original Bitcoin is Bitcoin. The original coin is Bitcoin and the others are altcoins. Is mainly used as a means of exchange and investment or to access goods or services. So what now happened was that people began to realize that the technology, the underlying technology for Bitcoin is the breakthrough. So blockchain technology, or DLT, is actually the breakthrough, not just Bitcoin itself. So people were interested in this. So later on, we had the introduction of Ethereum, and Ethereum is where decentralized apps came about. So now, it went further from being a platform to create a means of exchange. The Ethereum network now introduced what we call decentralized apps. So I usually explain this. So I have a slide, but we'll go through that later. Decentralized apps are like when you open your phone, either Android or an iOS, you go to the Google Play Store and you see there's several different kinds of apps on there that you can use. So those apps are built on iOS, so they're built on Android. The same way on this particular technology, we can have apps that are built on them. And so these apps are called decentralized because, again, you don't need a third party. They basically function on their own. They're distributed in nature. They are immutable because once the information is put on the blockchain, it can't be taken off the blockchain. It's there permanently and everybody can have access to view the information. So with the introduction of Ethereum came about dApps, which are decentralized apps, DAOs, which are decentralized autonomous organizations, and then we have smart contracts as well, which we'll go into later. So again, this is a slide for apps and dApps. It's distributed in nature and decentralized. And then next slide, the Ethereum stack, we might not need to go through this. It just shows that there are different application layers. So when you're talking about blockchain, the very first layer is called layer 1. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, and others are called layer 1 technologies. That's how it started out anyway. And then the layer 2s are what are built on the layer 1 technology. So most of the applications that are built on Ethereum may be layer 2 or layer 3 technology, depending on type of application that it is. So those are the different application layers. But now we also have what we call the layer 0s. Layer 0s are layers that connect two different types of blockchains. So they create bridges, and so they're like, it's just like you have a layer 1. So if this is Ethereum and this is Polygon, if there's a technology that connects both, which builds a bridge, then we go under layer 1. So that makes it a layer 0 technology. So it's connecting two different blockchains together. And so, so what this brought about was the introduction of smart contracts, because Ethereum operates with smart contracts. Smart contracts make dApps, which are decentralized applications, possible. And what exactly is a smart contract? A smart contract is created between two people. It's basically code. They are Turing complete because they start an action and then they complete an action. And so that's why they're called smart contracts. And we know that in law, in order for you to have a contract with another person, you need to have offer acceptance and consideration in the mix of the contract. And so it does meet all of these principles of contract law because it's between two people. There's an offer from one person, another person accepts the offer, and there is an exchange or consideration most of the time in between both parties. So that's why they're called smart contracts. So next slide, how it works. How does it smart contract work? So I give the example of, let's say we have driverless cars and you want a driverless car. I know we haven't gotten there yet, but just as an example, you have a driverless car that wants to take you from Lekki to the international airport. You get into the driverless car, and once you key in your wallet address and you enter in the address, once the driverless car picks you up and it shuts the door, it keys in the smart contract. So the smart contract begins to run at that point in time. So it's if and then command. So if you take me to international airport, then I will pay you $50, something like that. So if you get into the vehicle, the contract starts, and when you get to the international airport, automatically the contract expires and the car takes the fee of $50 from your wallet automatically, because the GPS will tell the car that it's already there, and it will also tell the smart contract that you have reached that particular destination. So that's how smart contracts work. So they're used for a myriad of things. Decentralized finance, many of the transactions that are being conducted either on Ethereum or any other such or like blockchain will be achieved with the use of smart contracts using code, etc. So that now brings us to NFTs, because NFTs are also function with smart contracts. And what are NFTs? So we have different types of tokens, and this is just an intro. We have fungible tokens, we have non-fungible tokens, and then we have semi-fungible tokens. So fungible tokens are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the like, because you can exchange one for the other easily, you can swap one for the other easily. Fiat money, regular dollars, regular naira is fungible because I can give you 250 naira notes, it's still going to be equal to 100 naira. I can give you 100 naira notes. I can give you 520 naira notes, it's still equal to 100 naira. So they're fungible because you can swap them one for the next. But the non-fungible tokens are different because they're unique. They can't easily be swapped, unlike fungible tokens. So they're not necessarily interchangeable. So if I have a picture of myself right now in this Zoom, and I want to exchange it with somebody else that has another NFT, the NFT can't be the same. Even if we have the same NFT, for instance, we must have heard of people who have collections of maybe like 10,000 NFTs being released. If I have a Bored Ape, and let's see, which star can I make? And Davido has a different kind of Bored Ape. The Bored Ape, and both of us want to sell the same Bored Apes on a particular platform. His own Bored Ape is going to be worth more than mine because he's a more famous brand, at least maybe to like a regular person. So the person may want to have Davido's own and say, bragging rights and say, I actually owned the Bored Ape that Davido had, or he sold it to me. So it's worth more. So there are many factors that are considered when it comes to NFTs. So there's rarity, there's utility, there's the user who has it. So many of these factors are put into consideration when you are selling an NFT or when you are trying to value an NFT. It's just like property. When you're valuing property, how do you value property? You value it by the property itself, the qualities that it has. You value it by the location, you value it by the previous person who owned the property. So those are the things you consider when talking about non-fungible tokens. So now we have semi-fungible tokens as well. Semi-fungible are tokens that are made specifically for certain purposes. So I want to have an event, I'm selling tickets to the event, and the tickets, I've made them out to be NFT. So the event is taking place on March 22nd. So once you buy your NFT towards that event, once the event is over, it expires. That's sometimes. And then some can make it a maybe like a collectible. So this we can see in instances of like NBA Top Shot selling their basketball tickets for a sports event. Those can be made in form of semi-fungible tokens that have a timeline of expiry. And then once they expire, people can just buy them as something to collect, and not necessarily that the function of the NFT is for that particular period. So we see that NFTs can be used for anything. We have land NFTs, we have event tickets, digital IDs, we have collectibles, we have art, music, anything and everything. Certificates can be NFTs. And going forward, we're going to have many more use cases for NFTs. So we'll be looking at that as well. So I think I'll just try to round up now with the Metaverse. The Metaverse is a very unique concept which is coming to life, and is basically built on several different kinds of technologies. So we're using blockchain, we're using NFTs, and then we're using AR, VR, and MR to experience the Metaverse. So AR is augmented reality, VR is virtual reality, and MR is a mixture of both augmented and virtual. Augmented is when you bring digital assets or items into the physical world to be experienced. And virtual is when you yourself go into the virtual or digital space to experience that particular digital space. Next slide. So the Metaverse is a creation of a digital universe. In order to create the Metaverse, you need to have a digital twin of the physical universe. But I try to tell people not to imagine the Metaverse as a place that you are going to. The Metaverse is just a digital phenomenon. Why do I say this? It's because previously you could go online and buy items, but never before could you convert your digital assets, maybe sell your digital assets and then convert the currency to something that you can actually spend in the real world. So I give an example. For instance, if you buy land in, say, Decentraland, for instance, it's digital. Before you could buy that land, but the land will stay in that digital space. And the only people you could sell it to are others that are within that same digital world. Let's give an example of Second Life. So you could only sell it to people in Second Life, and the currency that you will sell it is Second Life currency. You would hardly be able to find someone who will want to exchange their dollars for Second Life currency unless they were really into Second Life. But the difference here now is that you could sell your Decentraland property for Ethereum or Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin could enter into an account or wallet that you have, and you could actually convert that money into Naira. This, never happened before. Also, we have the immersive technologies that is coming in, which allows people to actually experience. So now you could actually go and visit that land. You could actually build on the land. You can rent out the space. You can have visitors come visit you in the land. All of this was not possible before. So it's a different ball game entirely. So people are actually living and working. Well, you can't live 24/7 in there, but at least they are living parts of their life in the Metaverse. And many people are actually working there. You can attend events. You can physically go to an MTN office in the Metaverse and recharge your phone, and your phone in the physical world will get that credit. That was never possible before. So the Metaverse has all these functions. So it's an amalgamation of the virtual and the physical world together. You're just merging the two together, being able to experience both at the same time. So I think I'll just leave it there for now, and then we'll take on the rest later since we're pressed for time. But that's just a little introduction into the three different aspects of blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse. And we have to know that they're all interconnected one way or the other. And the technologies are extremely important for going forward into the future because we have several use cases for them. Thank you so much. So over to you, Hussein.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful presentation. If not for time constraint, I would have loved you to just continue telling us, because everything you are saying is just new, very new to some of us and very interesting. So quickly, I'll be calling on the presenter for the group, who will also give us his presentation for 10 minutes, please. So the presenter, are you ready? You can share your screen with us and start your presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'll share my screen now. So I'll start the presentation.
All right.
So can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can
Okay.
see your screen.
Now I'll be taking us on the introduction to blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse. And in the course of this presentation, we're going to look at the definition of blockchain, NFTs, and the Metaverse, the relevance of blockchain, NFTs, and the Metaverse to the future, career options in blockchain, NFTs, and the Metaverse. All right, so generally speaking, we know that our world is evolving technologically and digital-wise, and we are fast moving from the era of manual transactions and physical assets to a more advanced system of record of transactions and digital assets. Now, without further ado, what is this blockchain all about? Now, according to my research, I've garnered enough knowledge that this blockchain technology is a system of record of transaction which has proven to be safer, immutable, and transparent. Now, by this, I mean that by it being safer, I mean that it has provided a system of recording transactions where which with the use of cryptography, as we have been told by our mentor, with the use of cryptography has ensured that every record of transactions, every data that has been entered into the system do not risk being counterfeited or risk corruption. Also, by it being immutable, it means that every record of transaction that has been entered into the system cannot be altered or erased. If you want to alter any error, if you had made any error as a user, you must have to add a new transaction in order to reverse the error. Now, the transparency aspect of it is that it is open to the public. Every user has the right to use it, to see how it is, to see how transactions are being made, and all of and so on. So the one beautiful thing about this blockchain technology is that with the concept of it being safer, immutable, and transparent, it has eliminated the role of intermediaries coming in between us and our transactions, that is the banks and the government. So moving on, we'll talk about the NFTs. NFTs use blockchain technology, just like we've heard of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. But the difference between these NFTs and cryptocurrencies is that they are non-fungible. In cryptocurrency, a value can be exchanged for its equivalent, but in NFTs, digital assets cannot be directly replaceable with another digital asset. So this non-fungibility concept means that, let's say, for example, now a physical asset such as a real estate, a piece of land cannot be directly replaced by another piece of land anywhere in the world, because they have their own every piece of land has its special attributes. Now, this physical asset can have its digital equivalent as an NFT. And the physical asset is not limited to land, real estate. It could be video games, it could be content creations, it could be Facebook messages, it could be tweets. Like in 2021 March, it was recorded that Jack Dorsey, the co-founder of Twitter, sold his tweets for the sum of $2.6 million. So anything can actually serve as an NFT. Okay, so one special feature of NFT is that, unlike physical assets that can be attached to one owner, the NFT, as an NFT, they can have it divided among several owners. Let's say a painting or a piece of work can have its fractions divided among several owners, and then they can resell. Okay, so moving on to Metaverse. Metaverse is a 3D internet. It's the interactive digital environment. And when we talk about Metaverse, we cannot fail to mention virtual reality and augmented reality. Now, virtual reality means that it creates a simulated environment where, with the use of your headphones, headsets, you can get to be immersed into this digital environment. While augmented reality, you get to bring this augmented reality means that you get to bring this digital environment to you. Let's take, for instance, Snapchat. When you use Snapchat cameras to get a beautified version of ourselves. So this is us bringing the digital environment to the physical environment. Okay, on the relevance of blockchain, NFTs, and metaverse to the future, many writers has written that the union of this blockchain, NFTs, and metaverse is a turning point, and it would transform the future. Now, basically, we have that it gives the fair and transparent economy. Now, with the union of NFTs and metaverse, we can get to acquire varieties of real world assets. And now with blockchain is going to provide a stabilized market, a market that is void of artificial value inflation, because of that's proven to be transparent and immutable. Secondly, you have it will aid in the purchase of properties. Now we can get to purchase virtual spaces in the metaverse through NFTs, and also people like writers who has leveraged on this advantage of NFT to sell their writing, because that's proven to be free of copyright infringement or being counterfeited and all that. So we get to acquire properties via this metaverse with NFTs. Now, access control. Let's take, for instance, that one buys a virtual space in the metaverse. Let's say a virtual space for an event, and then with the aid of NFTs, you can sell tickets, and then you can control those. You can control the manner of people who get these tickets. So with their avatars, they can get to access the digital environment where this events will take place. Now, lastly, they have generation of community. So people who have a similar opinions of NFTs can come together to form a community where they share their ideas, and then they could collaborate to make content creations, to create NFTs that they could sell. So it provides an avenue for us to utilize this digital environment. You can travel, go for meetings, do play games, and all manner of things in this digital environment. And then lastly, the career options in blockchain technologies. Career options in this technology, it abounds. So yeah, it includes, you can create.
I think someone else mic is on and
Are we still there?
please continue. Yes, we can hear you.
Blockchain quality engineers, blockchain Lego consultants, game designers. Need people who program these virtual reality games. Can have avatar clothing designers. People would want to dress their avatars in nice outfits. So people be needed to create this various outfits for the avatars. And then have hardware engineers and metaverse marketing specialists and a lot more. So they are inexhaustible. So this is basically a background to what this blockchain, NFTs, and metaverse is all about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cynthia Ibo, for that wonderful presentation. Personally, I think you did a very good job, and I was expecting your team members to be clapping for you and appreciating what you did. By I don't know why. Please, it's an interactive class, so you can always clap your hands. You can turn on your mic and clap when she drops a bombshell points and stuff like that. So we're moving on to the comments from our mentor for today. But before that, quickly before that, we'll be taking the picture session. So on this session, we all put on our videos. We put a smiling face and we take pictures. I will take some screenshots that I'll be sharing on the group. So when we are talking about what we learned today, we can post on our social media with those pictures. So thank you very much. As you put on your camera, we can see Cynthia Ibo's camera. My camera is on. So we are waiting for others to put on their cameras. Thank you very much as you do so. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I say we are moving on to the comments from our mentor.
Okay, I wanted to find out, is it just one presentation that they're going to be taking?
Yes, just one.
Okay, and that was the entire team efforts, right?
Yes, that was the entire team effort.
Okay, so I wanted to initially ask that blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse, what's the connection between all three? You know, it would have been great to see what you all thought of for that. And then also the disadvantages of these technologies. So because many of the time we concentrate on the advantages of the tech, but then we also need to look at the disadvantages as well. But having said that, the presentation was great. I like that it touched on every single aspect, many of the aspects that I had even touched on earlier. So that is really good. What else did I think it should have touched on? I think those would be, and then it mentioned certain things like blockchain being fair and transparent. I wanted to hear more about it being fair. So maybe we can have one or two people answer from that perspective, or the speaker who took, the session. But otherwise, great work. If you already know that information, even going in to the training, then the rest of the work is not much anymore. So those would be my comments for the presentation. Well done to each and every person who chimed in for the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. So we'll be moving on to question and answer session right now. So as I said earlier, the mentorship session is a very interactive session, and we are having our mentor on board right now. If anyone has any question about her presentation or about your presentation, or any question you want to ask about the topic for today, you can quickly raise your hand, indicate by raising your hand on the Zoom call, and I'll call on your name to ask your question. I can't see any hands. Is it that we all understand what blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse is? If that's the case, I will ask our mentor to ask us some questions so that to test our knowledge. Okay, I can see Cynthia's Ibo's hand. So Cynthia, kindly ask your question.
Okay, so I wanted to.
Cynthia, you can ask your question now.
Okay, my question is, are there limits to physical assets that can have their digital equivalent as NFTs? Like, are there exceptions to the physical assets that can have their digital equivalent as NFTs?
Are there exceptions to physical assets? You mean that we can't translate into the digital form?
Yes.
I haven't really thought about that, but most of the things that we have, because even we humans have the digital versions as avatars. So I'm not sure. Maybe the things like memory, things that are transient, that even we ourselves don't have control over yet, because I know they're saying that AI has already uploaded the first memory of the human being already. So I really don't know what else, like I said, just transient stuff that we don't have control over yet. But most of the things we have control over, you can have the digital version of it already. So not much.
All right, ma. Thank you, ma.
So if they don't have any questions, let them answer my own questions, because I asked some questions, already. So it'd be good to hear responses.
Okay, so we can answer our mentor's questions, please. She has question
yes,
about,
let me
I
repeat
think
the
it was
question.
about, okay.
Connection between blockchain, NFTs, and the metaverse. And then I asked for the disadvantages of these technologies. We can, touch on some of those. Anybody that wants to take part of the discussion on.
So this question is directed to all the group members of the blockchain, NFT, and metaverse group. So please kindly start raising your hand to answer the question. We are waiting, please. Cynthia, can you give us a try?
Okay, so I was going to talk about the connection between the NFTs, blockchain technology, and metaverse. Now, blockchain technology is like an umbrella that encompasses both NFTs and metaverse. Now, metaverse creates a digital environment for NFTs and blockchain technology to thrive. Let's say that we get to buy physical assets in a metaverse, we get to buy digital assets in a metaverse, which is the digital environment. And these assets are in form of NFTs. And then blockchain technology serves as a pricing policy at because of the concept of it being transparent. Everybody sees what is going on in the system, and the immutability concepts. You cannot alter any transaction that has already been made in the system. So that's what I think is the connection between the three.
Thank you so much for taking that on, Cynthia. Really, there's no wrong or right answers. It's just trying to challenge our thinking to know if we understand the concepts and how we can connect it. Because there are many founders, tech founders, who are even still trying to make connections between all three of them. But it's just that, we just want to make sure that you understand the different infrastructures of them. That's basically what it is. We can also talk about the disadvantages of blockchain as well. So let no one feel I'm going to say a wrong answer, or just say what you think. We're here to learn and have discussions. So.
Okay, those are the two questions: connection between NFT, blockchain, and metaverse, and disadvantages of blockchain, right? So that's the question. Anybody can unmute yourself and answer, please. Disadvantage of blockchain. Okay, yes. So anybody, I think Raymond was asking about the question. You can also help us here. Raymond, what are your thoughts? Raymond, are you on the call? I think Babatunde, Anola, Paul, Bukola.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. The disadvantages of the blockchain technology, I feel just like every technological tool, there is going to be high cost in running the technology. I think it's going to cost people more to transact than in using other means of transaction. So there's going to be high cost in transaction. Then I believe the technology also have an issue with privacy. Everybody is public, so everybody has to see the transaction you make. you get, and through the ledger system. So there's an issue of privacy, which most technological tools also have that issue. So I think the blockchain has the issue of privacy. Then then for particularly for areas like let's say areas like Nigeria now, that the disadvantage in using this technology is that Nigeria, like a country, or the third world countries that have not developed to this standard, using the blockchain technology is going to be an issue for us, because we have not actually developed to that kind of system. And if you want to use the blockchain technology, there are things that you have to put in place, like power and the rest, because of in Nigeria, we know in Nigeria there is the issue of power. So we may not necessarily enjoy this blockchain technology because of this issue. So using blockchain in Nigeria may be disadvantageous to us in our transactions. Then I think for now, those are the disadvantages I can think of for now. So.
Wonderful. Those are beautiful disadvantages. if I can use the phrase like that. Well done, Raymond. That was really good.
Okay, I think Nemi's hand is raised, so I will call on Nemi to also answer the question. Nemi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think another disadvantage would be it being hard for you to repudiate or terminate the contract, especially in smart contract. I know the mentor, when she was explaining, she said in smart contract, when you get into the taxi, you've already arranged everything. So when you get to your destination, it shows that you got into your destination, you pay the money, they take the money from your account, and that. But if you want to terminate the contract, and she also said that if you want to make a correction on this thing, you cannot do the correction, you have to do another code to correct an error that was already there. I think that's a problem, because normally for the normal manual contracts, we know you can easily call the other party and then do a new paperwork. But imagine doing another code to correct or to terminate a code. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but I think that's one of the disadvantages. It's very hard to terminate it.
I know many people that will have war with you over that comment that you just made, because many people seem to think, there's the argument out there that is law now code, or is code now law? Which one is it? So it's a massive, massive conversation out there that people are warring against themselves. And some seem to think that there's no need for lawyers anymore, because code is law. So whatever is coded in can be recoded, and there's no need for any lawyers. So we have that ongoing discussion, but I like the way you put it, which is the perspective of us lawyers anyway, that there will always be situations that arise that are outside of their unforeseen circumstances. So you will always need somebody to help you with those unforeseen circumstances. So that's our own argument. So I like that very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Nemi. Do we have any other person who wants to answer the question or make any contributions? Okay. Since I can't see any hands, quickly I'll call on the co-founder of JIIPCC, since Ms. Juliana was not able to join us today. So to just give us a quick closing remark, and also welcome.
I think Joseph was about
new
to
session.
Joseph said, okay.
Good.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Good morning. So a presentation on blockchain
we can't hear you. So we can't hear you. Your mic is muted.
I'm actually back on now. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I wanted to say a very big thank you to our mentor, Buki. We're very grateful. I know that it must have taken a lot for you to be here today. We don't take your time for granted. Thank you. Impacting is which had to do with the FTX issue of Sam Bankman-Fried. But maybe in the next class so that we don't prolong this one. But I really want to say a very big thank you to you and to all the mentees who have participated, those of us who have asked questions. Thank you all. Also, we appreciate the area. There's a lot of information around this area online, but I know that for you to have come here to at least listen to experts in the field, that shows that you're trying to put up some sort of discipline to be able to learn and to listen to what other people actually have to say. So thank you so very much to our mentees. And for the presenter today, your presentation was very good. You appeared very spotless, very confident in speaking. I also learned a great deal from you as well. Thank you so very much. Finally, I would just like to say that we've started on this journey. This is the first session of the blockchain, NFT, and Metaverse mentorship program be run by JIIPCC in collaboration or in support by extremely grateful, and we can't really thank you enough. But before I sign out, Hussein, thank you as well for making of us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. Those closing remarks and also telling us about the program. Thank you very much, Barrister Buki Ogunsaki. We're so happy to have you here today. We learned a lot from everything you said, and we hope to meet you on other sessions on other topics. So thank you very much. Good work to all the group members that contributed. We are so sad that we didn't have everybody on the call. So at this junction, we say bye-bye to everybody. Come to the end of the program. Bye-bye to everybody. Have an amazing day. Have a fun-filled weekend, and try and enjoy yourself after the whole week working. Thank you very much.
Well done, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.